Oh, Jesus. Okay. We're not going to have anyone watching this until afterwards.
Yeah.
But it'll at least get the kinks worked out.
Well, I mean, unless someone just stumbled across it that way, right?
Yeah, because I didn't
There's not
share it
many
anywhere.
posts,
Yeah, this is fine. I mean, I'd rather be a little. This is fine.
All right.
I could always save it and trim it later, but we are live.
Right
do you think I need to tilt it back a little bit? It's kind of like we're gonna have to lean in like
Yeah,
this.
just a little bit. Maybe just a tad.
All right, have a seat so I can see if that's any better. Is that any better?
Yes.
A little
Yeah.
cockeyed.
Slightly. What do you think?
I think the beards are blocking. We've got plenty of room.
Yeah.
Yeah, see if I can share it. All right. Well, this is our first attempt of doing it live from inside the bar at the Cheerful Bullpen.
Bills Backer Bar since 2009, serving Bills fans every Sunday, Saturday, Monday.
Whenever the game is. This is episode 32 of the House at Allenville. I'm Scott Kinmartin. With me, as always,
Greg Vollmer.
And like we said, we are here at the Bills Backers Bar in Portland, Oregon at the Cheerful Bullpen. And we've got a setup here. It's kind of an improv setup. We didn't get to share it with many people, so you're only going to be seeing this after it's recorded, unfortunately, which is probably after the game. But you'll know that this was filmed ahead of time, so our predictions and our conversation will be pre-game.
We got the Labatt's ready to go.
Right here
Couple
and
Sixers.
on your side. And we've got some Allen cards like we normally do. And we won't be able to do close-ups this time, but...
Shout out to you for getting all the equipment ready and on the fly and bringing it down here.
Yeah, we've got some lights. You know, we're looking good. Not sure how we're sounding, but we are here. And it's obviously week 20? 19? 19. Week 19.
Week 19.
It's the Wildcard weekend. It's the Buffalo Bills 13-3 taking on the 9-8 Miami Dolphins. And it's in Buffalo. So it's the second time in Buffalo, third game of the year that they're seeing each other this season. And the first game and the second game were both close. The first one we lost by 2. Second one, the Bills won by 3.
In dramatic fashion.
Yes, Allen had 400 yards passing in the one game and 300 in the second game. He had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions the first game, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions the second game. It was good. You know, the biggest problem was Mostert, who's not going to be playing today. He killed us. He had like 22 rushes for 137 yards. But they'll have Jeff Wilson Jr. as their starter this time.
Which he's still dangerous. He's a better pass catcher. He's
Yeah,
still really
and he
quick
likes
shifty.
contact. Their offensive line is very banged up right now. The Dolphins are without several starters, and their stud guard Hunt is actually being pushed over to tackle, which he played in college. But it's going to be interesting to see what they can do because they've obviously got the Flash brothers, as they're called right now, between Tyreek Hill and Justin Waddle. Is that blurry? Whatever.
It's all good.
We're trying to do it.
So people have been talking about how it's kind of ironic that the roles have been switched. So we went into that week 2 game, right? Was it week 2 that we played them?
No, it was September 25th, week 4.
Okay.
Because they
so
were
the first matchup in
or
Miami.
week 3.
We were reeling with injuries going into the game. Then obviously the heat and everything that happened.
Yes.
Now they're the ones reeling with injuries, which it's more. I mean, it was more odd that we were injured so early in the season, but that was kind of a foreshadowing of what was unfortunately to come for the rest of our season. It's battle of attrition. It's a long season. People get beat up.
We're in the best health-wise.
We are starting to come around.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are struggling now after a long regular season to limp into the playoffs. No Tua, third-string quarterback. No Mostert, obviously, which, again, makes, I think, Bills fans feel a little more at ease, not only that they don't have Tua, but then, their best running back that was able to gouge us last time.
Yeah, and they elevated LaMichael Pirine, Samaje's brother, and I'm not sure what kind of damage he would do. He's been on their practice squad, so he knows the play calls, he knows the offense. We'll see if that does anything, but our defensive front needs to play very strong because they're a very physical team, and we can't underestimate what the Miami defense will do regardless of whether or not Tua plays, because he's not playing and he doesn't play on defense either way. So their defensive front is very good. Jalen Phillips got us last time, and Javon Holland, I don't know how it's pronounced, but he's very good.
Yep.
On our defensive front, we've got Trey White finally playing close to 100%. Last game, I think he picked up some of his confidence after an interception in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our biggest issues are going to be whether Dean Marlowe can fill in the meantime while Hyde works his way back up from being elevated from the 21-day window. How's it going?
Hey!
What's going on?
What's shaking?
What is it? Both chins and all four cheeks?
Both chins and all four cheeks, yes, sir.
Oh!
We're doing the live podcast.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah.
So this here is
Morning.
a replica of the Super Bowl rings for all 4 years, and the one in the middle is a repeat, and that one's going to be replaced with an actual Super Bowl championship ring this year, hopefully, right? That's the plan.
Yep. So the over. Let's talk about obviously the Bills. It started out as 9.5, I think, favorites.
Now it's at 13.
Then once they found out, Tua wasn't going to play, it was bumped up all the way to 14 in some areas. Over unders at 43.5.
Which is like 29 to 15.
You want to talk about predictions?
Yeah, I haven't really put a lot of thought into it, but since Skylar Thompson, who's a rookie quarterback playing, he's their third stringer. So anytime you have a third string quarterback in, you expect that there's going to be some hiccups, that we're going to be able to confuse them from our defense. I say that changes a lot on my confidence in the game. It would have been a lot closer with Tua, but if Skylar Moore can get the ball to his yak receivers, yards after catch, they're both very fast. He can throw a 3-yard pass or a 40-yard pass. If they get the ball, we don't tackle well, then that's going to be the biggest thing on defense. So my prediction, if it goes where the Bills stay healthy and execute the way they're supposed to, I mean, this could be a 38-6 murdering. I mean, you know what? I don't normally do that, but I'm going to stick. We'll do 33-9.
33.9.
Yep.
All right, my prediction is Buffalo 41, Dolphins 13.
Okay, so we're both picking a blowout.
Yep.
More than the 13.5.
I mean, we're not the only ones. I think
No.
that, some are a little bit more modest, but
I wouldn't
they're
be
blowouts,
surprised
but
if it was still close. Only because if our offense can't put it together and our defense has to compete with those two receivers, it might be tough. That's all I can say is Skylar Thompson, if he channels his inner Brock Purdy, they're both late round picks from this past draft, and technically Thompson's undefeated. He's 1-0 as a starter, even though it was a barn burner against the Jets.
Yeah, the Bills podcast, Western New York Up, they were talking about it, and they were like, one of them was asked what's the one way that the Bills would lose to the Dolphins, and he said if Josh Allen overslept to his alarm and his phone was turned off.
Well, even then, I think Case Keenum could handle his own. He made it. Remember what he did with Stephon Diggs 5 years ago,
Yeah.
the Minneapolis Miracle.
To me, the only way we're not going to beat them by multiple touchdowns today would be if all that emotion they've gone through over the last couple weeks, they finally come down from it, because they got uplifted last week.
And
There
Hamlin
was
showed up.
The kickoff return.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to understand, if it weren't for the 2 kickoff returns, we would have potentially been down against the Patriots in the fourth quarter.
That's
trying
true.
Trying to
I mean,
get
they
a
definitely
comeback.
They did very well in that game.
Yeah, and we fed off that energy, and rightly so. But if we're talking about human beings, and they're gonna at some point. I feel like they could have a come down from all the emotions. I'm hoping it doesn't happen during the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they're a little sloppy at some points in the game. But I'm expecting a pretty sizable win.
Yeah, our tackling just needs to happen. Jeff Wilson Jr. likes contact, and he's been I think last game he had 80 yards. Their leading receiver, though, I think it was their tight end, one of their tight ends.
Not Gesicki.
No. Hey, how's it going?
Oh, I can break
Dude, hey.
You want to have a seat with us? Oh, look at this.
Come on in for
it. Say hi to the camera.
Hi guys. Let me get my Bill shirt on.
This is our buddy Jeff, who we met at the Cheerful.
Yeah, he actually
Years ago.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
indeed.
was.
Put it right in the spot right here.
Perfect.
He was wearing the same Bills hat as me. Not this one. This is the 2018 draft hat. But he was walking his dog in front of my house, and we looked at each other. It was like the Spider-Man meme. We're both wearing the same hat. Sort of like when you and I were wearing the same McCoy shirt.
Yep.
Boy jersey, yeah.
Oh, yeah, jersey. You wear it like a shirt. But the Bills are celebrating the 6-year anniversary of Sean McDermott being hired as head coach. He's made it to the playoffs. This is his 5th time in 6 years. And his only year he didn't make it was Josh Allen's rookie year. And the season started rough with the Nathan Peterman start.
Oh yeah.
But it ended promising.
Still still got 6 wins, and there were some close games too. So could have easily been like an 8-8 type of season.
Yeah. But I trust the process. I believe in McDermott. I know he got a lot of flack early on. A lot of people didn't think he was qualified, and we were just jumping on the Carolina train. Let's talk about what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I think I'm not worried about our offense today. Like I said, maybe they come out slow. I don't know, have a little bit of a come down after last week, but I'm not worried about Davis. Not worried about Diggs. Obviously, I think Knox will be involved.
We don't have one reserved today.
Oh, I just literally pulled up next to these people and sat my stuff next to them.
Oh, well, yeah.
that's
See if
funny.
we can sit there.
You want me to sit on the other spot? There's
So
other people sitting.
Miami leads the all-time
Yeah,
series
wherever we will
61,
be able to have
52, and 1. So they have a tie. And that's in the regular season. The Bills are 3-1 against Miami in the playoffs, and that was during the Kelly and Marino era. 2 of those wins, one of them was, the 92 AFC Championship where the Bills won 29-10. And one of them was in 1990 when Mark Kelso intercepted Dan Marino in the 3rd quarter, and the Bills won 44-34. Starting to get louder in here because we're getting people, which is nice.
They're
The
starting to roll in.
Game's less
It's
than an
about
hour
that
away. Our previous matchups with them, Miami won the first one, like we said. The Bills had nearly 500 yards to Miami's 212. If you look at the box score, you would think, oh, the team that had 500 yards won. Well, that was the 120-degree heat index on the field game on September 25th, and the Bills just were drained. Josh Allen had 4 touchdowns, and he ran for an additional 77 yards on the ground on 10 carries.
Leaned his head onto Tua at the end, like just exhausted.
And of course I had a Miami fan tweet that at me recently, and I'm like, dude, you're welcome that you're in the playoffs because the Bills beat the Patriots. We could have rested our starters and had a cakewalk the next week. Maybe. They played tough, but
Might still be a cakewalk.
it's true.
So
Okay, so like I said, Mostert had 136 yards in the one game. Allen had, Knox had 98 yards and a touchdown the last time we played them. He was ineffective the first game. I think he had 25 yards total. So as far as the injury report goes, we know that Tua is out. He may not play ever again, but at least for this year, I don't see him playing it, even if he were to beat the Bills, or the Dolphins were to beat the Bills. He's already been ruled out for next week for a potential game. Mostert, broken thumb, he's not playing. Dolphins left guard Liam Eichenberg with his hand was ruled out as well. Their Pro Bowl left tackle Taron Armstead has a toe injury, a pectoral injury, a knee injury, and a hip injury. So
yeah, someone said this week, just put the whole body on the injury
I know.
report. His whole body hurt.
He's been replaced by Greg Little, who's not very little, but right tackle Brendan Shell was subbing in for Austin Jackson, who's on IR twice now, and then he got hurt as well. So their line is brutally impacted by injuries. And like I said, Offensive lineman Lester Cotton has been elevated from the practice squad along with LaMichael Pirine. Dolphins have just one player left from their playoff berth in 2016, and that's Xavier Howard. But they brought in experience with Tyreek Hill, who has 13 playoff games. They brought in Melvin Ingram, who has 7 playoff games. Connor Williams, who has 3. Bridgewater, who's likely to not play even if he's the backup. He's not going to see the field really unless Thompson gets buried alive
You
by
never know.
Milano like
I
Tua
wouldn't-
did.
I told you in the beginning of the week, I thought it was going to be. I thought the Dolphins were trying to play gamesmanship by saying that making it seem like Skyler was going to play.
I know.
But then you saw that there was a chance that Bridgewater could play.
Still questionable, and
Yeah,
I don't think
so
he's
I thought,
inactive.
yeah, I thought they were going to have Bridgewater start, and then potentially you see Skyler, but it looks like it's going to be the
Yeah.
opposite.
So the Bills have Jordan Phillips inactive for today. They have Balin Spector inactive. Christian Benford's inactive. But most of the other guys, I mean,
What about McKenzie?
McKenzie's inactive.
Yeah, they're playing it safe. I mean, that's
Hamstring.
been the whole year. McDermott and the training staff have played it safe,
Yeah.
and there's been times throughout the year where we were playing an inferior opponent, and while McDermott or the players would never admit that they're like taking it easy on players and giving them an extra week.
Yeah.
You know that if this had been like a first round matchup against, I think, a healthier, more superior team,
Yeah.
we may have had to try to have them limp out there. Kind of like we've had to have in the past years, we've had to have Beasley limp out there on one bad leg, and certain players that have had to play through pain, but I think they figured they could take it easy on them.
And because I feel like there's sort of a correlation here, but with McKenzie out this week, hamstring injuries are tricky. It can actually be multi-week or multiple weeks because you can easily pull a hamstring in the game and make it worse. They have officially signed Cole Beasley back to the active roster. He's no longer on the practice squad and being elevated like John Brown. I believe both of them are playing today.
Yep.
And that should be nice to have because without McKenzie, we'll see what Beasley can do in probably a full-time role.
Who would have thought
I know.
when this year started that come playoff time we would have John Brown and Cole Beasley back on the active roster?
It's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad to see it.
It's beautiful. You wish that like certain things wouldn't have happened to get to that point,
Yeah.
right? But it's pretty. I think it is kind of like along the whole storybook thing that seems to be going on with our team. It does seem to be a little bit like a movie script, and to bring back bless you, bring
you.
back the original gang, for one last ride, hopefully.
I mean, this is the year to do it. We saw the schedule for next year, and it's going to be pretty brutal. We're not sure where that'll go as far as we know home and away, but we don't know what's in prime time, what week we play them. That'll be for speculation in the off season.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you start to make the playoffs every year, and when you're division every year, you're gonna have to play the other division winners, and your schedule's gonna be difficult. And for everything that the Bills, I've alluded to it before, and I'll say it one more time. For everything the Bills have gone through this year, on the field, off the field, injuries, getting games changed to different locations, short practice weeks. To come out with it with a 13-win season. I mean, where do you think if we had Bond still and Hyde, who knows where we could have gotten that 1 seed. Had
Yeah.
we been a little healthier, but either way,
Every team, they're
Impressive.
100%
Yeah.
injury rate, right?
impressive to do what we did and get 13 wins despite a not so easy turn of events throughout the season.
Now, when we talk about the defensive matchups, we've got rankings. Points allowed, the Bills are second best. Miami is 24th. So they're not that great. They've allowed nearly 24 points where we average allowing 18 points. Total yards, Bills are number 6 and Miami's 18. So they do have a good defense, but Bills have an even better defense.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Allen can handle the pass rush. We do have an average offensive line. I think outside of Deion Dawkins and Mitch Morris, our offensive line is average. It's even sometimes below average. We do ask a lot of them for having to pass block a lot, and then they seem to really get into a groove at times with the run blocking. But I think Allen's still going to have to run around. He's going to probably do his favorite where he rolls out to his right and maybe launches a couple deep balls or across his body.
Their front five, their 4 or 5, are actually very good at run defense. They're ranked number 4 in the league, and the Bills are number 5. So as much as we like our front, theirs is slightly better. We allow 105 yards passing defense a game. They allow 103. Rushing. I meant rushing there. So we're talking 1.5 yards is the difference between these two teams on defense. And we've been playing the run way better this year.
Who do you think is going to get more play time today, Cook or Singletary?
I think they're going to still split, but I think Cook's probably going to... We're going to see him take the reins in this playoff. Yeah, I'm
okay with it. I mean, Cook has been showing that he's improved. Like his vision, you're starting to see why they drafted him. His vision is improving. He's having patience when he needs to. He's holding onto the ball. Singletary, I don't know. It might be an even mix again. I mean, have both of them rack up 50 to 60 yards. One of them get a touchdown. Both, who knows?
I do think that Cook has a good chance in the red zone to get a touchdown. Singletary, he has 5 or 6 on the ground this year. Or no, he doesn't. He has 5 or 6 total.
Yeah.
Sacks. Yeah.
I was just going to say, given that Singletary did fumble last week, it wouldn't surprise me, like you said, to see them start with Cook and then have Singletary be a complimentary role.
And Cook had a fumble on his first carry, and he hasn't fumbled since. Singletary, as much as we want to say that he's fumble prone or turnover prone, he's fumbled twice. Both of them have been lost. I think fumbles can kind of be freaky. It's the way the ball bounces. It's an odd shape. I want to see him get touches. I want to see them air it out as well. The reason why I even said 33 and originally 38, I think Allen wants to go off. And if we remember, he's 7-2 against the Dolphins all time, and both losses were by one throw or one play.
Yep.
Our defense and their defense are both tied with 40 sacks at number 13 in the league. Interceptions, Bills are 4th. This is where Miami has struggled this year. They only have 8 total for the 29th best.
I'll take a look at. Thanks, man.
Scott, yeah.
Sure. Tremaine Edmonds leads the team in tackles. We know that. He's had a great year. This is a contract year.
Yep.
We'll see if the Bills can afford him, because Roquan Smith just signed that 5-year, $100 million deal, and it's going to be hard to
figure it out.
I hope so. With Poyer playing and Hyde working his way back, he has a 21-day window. He's been activated to practice by his doctor. He's been approved to
Soonest we can see him would be if we make it to the title game, AFC.
Miami's leading tacklers are Landon Roberts, who's a linebacker, 104 tackles, and then Jerome Baker has 100 with 4 sacks. Christian Wilkins, we have to worry about him today. He is good at getting to the quarterback and applying pressure. He has 98 tackles, 3.5 sacks. Holland, like I told you, he leads the team with interceptions. Only 2, because they haven't had many. They've had 8 total on the team. But Jalen Phillips, 7 sacks. He got to Allen. And actually, the game that we lost against them, there was a strip sack in the red zone, and they picked up the ball. Actually, it was within our own 20 or 30. So we turned the ball over for Miami to have the ball in the red zone, and that proved to be the difference in the game.
And thank you, sir.
Look at that.
We don't have great table over there.
Tall boy,
We're
the
either
bats.
seated.
I mean, hey, we could sit right here. There's a TV going on.
I mean, we could sit right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then we got other people coming too.
Yeah.
2 girls that I don't know.
All right.
You guys have anybody come or just y'all?
Just us.
Yeah.
If we win, and so I'll get in while Greg's busy. The Bills,
Yeah. See if they'll let you do that.
if they win today, will face the higher seed or the worst seed. The stronger matchup. So yesterday's game, the Chargers were up 27-0. They choked it. Staley made a bad call, letting Mike Williams get hurt last week by playing his starters in a game that they were already in the playoffs.
Everyone's been updating their Twitter, refreshing it this morning, waiting
For him to
an
get fired?
announcement for him to get shit canned. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they were talented. They were 10-6, lost in the first round of the playoffs. Herbert is good. He started off way better than than Lawrence. Lawrence had 4 interceptions in the first half. They go down 27-0, and they come back and win 31-30. It was one of the best comebacks in the playoffs. Can you think of who had the best?
Third best. It was the
Third best. You're right. Vikings were second best, I believe, and then Bills were number 1. That 32-point comeback.
Well, no,
against the
it was
Oilers.
only playoffs. Like
Yeah.
it was the third best playoff.
Correct. So if the Bills win today, the Bengals beat the Ravens, then we will host the Bengals in Buffalo next week in the divisional round. However, if the Baltimore Ravens upset the Bengals, then the Ravens will then go to Kansas City and the Bills will host Jacksonville.
Yep.
As it stands right now, it's trending towards the Chiefs playing Jacksonville and the Bills playing the Bengals.
Yep.
And then if we win and the Chiefs win, the neutral site will then be in effect, and that will be played at the Atlanta Falcons Stadium, which is a dome. Originally, they had said, since the Chiefs and the Bills are both open-air stadiums, that it would probably be an outdoor stadium. That doesn't seem to be the case because they're both about 900 miles from either team. And I think Mahomes versus Allen indoors, that could be a 40-point shootout.
Oh, the NFL knows what they're doing. They want that to be the case. Yeah.
But Mahomes has never played away from Arrowhead in the playoffs. Ever. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
They've had home field advantage every time they play under Mahomes. Gabe Davis went off last year, as we know. He had 8 catches for 201 yards on the 4 touchdowns. That was in the divisional round. Let's hope to see playoff Gabe Davis engage with Josh Allen today.
And I'm hoping we don't have any issues with our third down and long defense today, going up against a third-string quarterback.
I know.
How is our run defense going to look, and how is our third down defense going to look when we have chances in especially during the regular season, we had so many blown opportunities to get off the field on 3rd and long, and we play too soft and give up a 3rd and 15, 3rd and 16.
We cannot play soft. Our defense needs to stay strong the whole game. Those 3rd short, 3rd long, it doesn't matter. If we can get them to punt, or get turnovers, I think Skylar Thompson can be pressured. He's a quarterback that will make a first read and throw. And if his first read isn't there, then he tends to scramble. Now he is mobile, but I think we can get him scattered in the outside of the pocket, and then maybe get a bunch of sacks.
Yeah, when I was listening and watching the Seahawks-Niners game yesterday, they were talking about how the Seahawks felt not as much pressure. They're playing on house money. They didn't even think for a while they were going to make it in. They get in with some circumstances going their way with the Packers losing.
Yeah.
And you could tell in the first half they were playing freely.
Well, the
nothing
first
to
quarter was
lose.
brutal, and then the second quarter they started catching up.
But the difference is they had Geno Smith, who's a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I could see the Miami Dolphins hanging around for a little bit today, just with that attitude of like, well, it's us against the world. No one's giving us a chance. We're 13-point underdogs. But it's still they have a 3rd-string quarterback. He could maybe hit some good crossing routes to Tyreek Hill or Waddle and get some chunk plays on us, or try to expose our still weak safety situation. But I don't see even with them having nothing to lose, and we have the pressure on us, it could be a little concerning. I just think that we've just got too much talent. We went into the season with the most talented roster in the NFL,
Which is why they
We
were
still
Super
have
Bowl
one of the
favorites, because KC got the number 1 seed. They are officially slight favorites in the league. And the Buffalo Bills have the odds in their favor. As a 10-plus point favorite, the team that is the favorite is 8-0 against their opponent, 7-1 against the spread. So even if they don't win by 13.5 plus, whatever, the odds are in their favor to go and win.
It's survived in advance. As long as we survive in advance, it's all that matters. Even if we won this game by 1 point, which would, be a shocker, but as long as we get the win.
It's starting to get a little crowded in here. It's 9:23, so
Yeah.
we've got about 37 before kickoff. I want to go over these cards here. This is from Greg's collection. It's the on-campus, which reminds me a lot of the Josh Allen downtown, and it is the college version of him playing. Hard to see that, but that's his
Super
Wyoming jersey. It's a prism. It's very cool.
You
It's
got like the cartoon style graphics, which are really cool. And it's got the cowboy, the horse is like breaking through the brick in the background, which is awesome. And then on this side, I've got a 2020 Panini Obsidian Football, numbered 21 of 25. Super cool. This one's the orange insert, so it's got the orange tint to it on the graphics. So yeah.
Let's see if I can get it a little closer. Sweet. Look at that.
Yeah. So this is, we like Scott and I talked about last week when we were doing the end of season recap. Eventually, for his sake mainly, so that he doesn't have to spend hours editing every week, because it does take a lot of work, and I show up and give my creative content, but then he does have
And then
to
you
do
peace
a lot.
out, and I got to sit there with
He
the
has to
headphones
do a
on.
lot of work behind the scenes with editing.
I made it more difficult than it needed to be because I try to be a perfectionist, and it's hard
Well,
because it's a personality trait now.
You're
It's
good
no
at what
longer-
you do. You take you're a perfectionist, but you care about what you do and you want to make a good
I care
product,
about
and it's
integrity
what you-
and details. Yes.
And you've made your living off of being a producer and producing content and editing. So, anyways, we eventually,
We'll do this live every
This
time.
is one of several steps to become more comfortable doing a live show. I gotta clean up my dirty mouth, especially when I'm doing a live
Yes.
show.
Yeah, whatever. If it's
But that'll make it easier down the line. It'll streamline it. We won't have to spend so much. He won't have to spend so much time editing to where then we get videos out later in the week. We want to try to do it where it's more instant reaction and within a day or two of the game. This is more so for next season, and then we can just do a live show. You all get to watch it live. You can watch it later when you want to after we've broadcast live. So that's the goal. It's been a fun season though.
It has.
Thanks again for all the editing and everything that you've done to make the show
Thank you.
look very professional.
I will in the future. I'll be using Streamlabs, so we'll have some chat over here on the screen, and then we'll have our lower thirds, and we'll have stats and stuff where we can. Excuse me. That's a courtesy of the bat.
Cheers. Cheers to a fun season, and now we start the actual tournament. Go Buffalo.
Well, like he said, the goal. Right now we're using a mic plugged into my phone, but it's still about 4 feet away from us. Where when I have my laptop, I'm going to set that up. I didn't have the HDMI set up for my Sony camera, which is super nice. We can stream in 4K. We'll have the Wi-Fi. We'll have everything set up for it. It's just going to be an off-season or maybe a next week thing. So if you see us with a little nicer setup next week, it's courtesy of Amy from the Cheerful Bullpen. She runs the place here, and she allowed us to come in. She's insisted for weeks now that we do this, so we are here. It's better late than never. It's playoff time.
This was a perfect time to start.
It was good to get it out of our system. And one thing I want to say, after the game, if the Bills win, I will turn on the stream again, and we will get this madman jumping through a table.
Yes, sir. I've got it. It's ready to go. It's sitting in the car outside, just waiting to be broken in half.
Well, we've got our helmets. I didn't bring the football because I wanted to show you guys the rings. I thought it was fitting for the playoffs. And we've got our Labatt. We'll have to get some and have it for the studio. So if we're streaming at the house, that's the way to go. The post game, we're going to try to do a reaction video afterwards with the same setup. We'll see how it goes. If we have to use our phone outside of the bar, that's fine. Pub, kids are welcome here.
No. Amy's turned it into a family-friendly bar as well, and it's fun to have. People will bring their kids and feel safe doing so, and it still gets rowdy and people still have fun. The thing I love about Cheerful that it's been enduring since we've came here is the shout song. Everyone gets so into it, and it makes you feel like you're a little bit a part of being in a game day atmosphere. Like
Every time they
being at
score a
the game,
touchdown,
so.
they play the shout song and run around like maniacs with flags and a Bills helmet umbrella.
So I just want to say they've got the broadcast up here on CBS showing
8-2.
Josh Allen warming up, and it's
8-2.
finally the Bills finally have a good weather game in Buffalo. I feel like
Wow, the sun is out. There's no snow.
and there's no wind. They were commenting on how the flags on the goalposts were barely moving because the whole season it seems like in Buffalo it's been nice on Friday, Saturday, and then it's been crappy weather on Sunday when they played. So I think we finally have a nice weather game here.
Oh, he's got the shield on. Damn. Okay. These
So it
guys
should be-
came. They're ready to play.
Yeah, beautiful day for the tailgating. Beautiful day for throwing the football, not having any weather affecting it. So it should be. I hope, a high-scoring game like we predicted on the Bills side.
Yes. Once again, we'll go over our scores before we leave. I predicted 33-9 Bills, and you predicted 41-13.
41-13. Yes.
Let us know in the comments what your prediction is before the game starts. Make sure you leave a comment and react. If you leave a comment, you have a chance to win a Josh Allen card from my collection. Right now, we're going to end the show, and I'm going to walk around before I turn it off so you can see the place here. It's really cool. But this is...
I just want to say a quick message to Bills Mafia. For Bills Mafia around the entire nation, around the world, enjoy the day with your friends and family watching the game, and especially to the Bills Mafia going to the game in Buffalo or in Orchard Park. You're going to make it loud, have fun, enjoy that beautiful weather, and as always, pound some Labatts, smash through some tables responsibly, and of course, take a few hydration breaks in between those beers. Get your water as well.
Oh yeah, there's water here. All right, I'm gonna grab the camera. I'm gonna show you around real quick, and we're gonna end the show. But this has been the house that Allen built, episode 32, Wildcard weekend between the Bills and the Dolphins. I'm Scott Kinmartin. With me, as always,
Greg Vollmer.
all right,
Let's
we'll
go.
see ya. Buffalo!
Buffalo. All right.
Woo! All right, let's show you around. Okay, so this is what the place looks like here.
Yes, indeed.
It's starting to fill in. It'll fill in more, but we'll walk around.
That's hilarious.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you bet. Anytime.
That's our boy Jeff. So as you can see, there's Bill stuff littered everywhere. This is Portland, Oregon, and you would never know it. You would think this was in Buffalo. So I'm going to show you the rest of the place here. Look at that. Rick, look at that. All right, we are close to kickoff. We're less than 20 minutes, so I'm going to end this here, and we're going to enjoy a beer. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, no, that's